You gotta work.
Slight work, light work,
D-Town to the
slight work.
DMV.
Diplo, what's up?
Finally got your girl going crazy.
Drunk white bitch.
Alright, we're here at DC, the executive branch of government, here at the White House. Alright, so part of the executive branch, you have the president, the vice president, cabinet, Congress. Alright, so in the executive branch, they're mainly in charge of enforcing the laws. So this is mainly what the president, Congress approves, like the laws that comes up. Alright, so the president is both the head of state and he's the head of government, the main man in charge. He's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, so he tells, like, signs off to go to war, stuff like that. And under Article 2 of the Constitution, the president is responsible for all execution and the enforcement of the laws that are brought to him and created by Congress. And in order to aid the president, there's something called the Executive Office of the President. They support and help the president with his needs to run the government effectively and smoothly. So it was created in 1939 by President Franklin Roosevelt. They're responsible for tasks from like talking to the president, relaying his messages to others in the government, and supporting our trade to international trade abroad, stuff like that. So the executive office of the president, they're led by the chief of staff, and that's usually some of the people who are closest to the president, like closest to him, talk to him, help him out. Alright, so the vice president also serves as president of the Senate, and he's actually not always like at the meetings with the Senate. They often choose like each day a member of the Senate to preside over meetings. Yep. Alright, so in front of the executive branch, you can see that protesting. This actually happens a lot down here. So different situations, people don't like it, they come protest. This is where they come. This one happens to be about the leaders in Iraq. They're coming down and they meet with the president. They don't like that. So they come down here, they let them know.
Yep.
Hello guys. Have you been talking to anyone about our event? Do you know what we are doing and what is this all about?
Yes, I do.
That's great. Have you got our flyer?
Yeah, you gave me a flyer.
Okay. Try to be here tomorrow if you can, tell others. Come show your solidarity with Iranian people. We are protesting, the appeasement policies of the U.S. government toward Iran, and especially the new government of Iraq, Nouri al-Maliki, who has been taking orders from Iranian regime and has suppressed the Iranian political dissidents, refugees in Iraq, in Camp Ashraf. So we are protesting that Mr. Obama, this is the house of the U.S. people, should not shake hand with a murderer. And one thing is we want. If he talks, as a politician, he says that you cannot fail America again. He is there in power because of America, because of 5,000 U.S. servicemen, men and women, who lost their lives to bring democracy to Iraq. And this is not a democracy. It's a dictatorship evolving to be worse than Saddam Hussein dictatorship. And we want to prevent that. The U.S. has the power, as the world leader, the leader of the free world, has the power to stop Nouri al-Maliki in his track, to take more orders from Iranian government, Iranian mullahs, and kill more people. 3,400 lives of Iranian dissidents is in the line.
Alright, so second in charge, we got the vice president. He's right under the president. So his job is basically at a moment's notice, a call, he has to be ready to assume the duties of president. Say the president is sick, something like that, he's killed, assassinated, or if he's just not performing his duties to the best of his ability. So vice president is elected along with the president by the electoral college, so they run together. So when you elect the president, vice president is with them, comes to office as well. Alright, so the last part of the executive branch is the cabinet. They're basically the advisory board to the cabinet, advising on stuff that's going on. It's made up of the 15 heads of the executive departments, and they're appointed by the president, confirmed by the Senate. And these are also like some of the main people close to him, like his main men.
We are at the judicial branch, and the members of the judicial branch are appointed by the president and confirmed by the Senate. The Supreme Court of the United States is the highest court in the land, and the only part of the federal judiciary specifically required by the Constitution. The Constitution does not stipulate the number of Supreme Court justices. The number is set instead by Congress. Article 3 of the Constitution of the United States guarantees that every person accused of wrongdoing has the right to a fair trial of a judge and their peers. The federal judiciary is the branch of government that holds trials and decides cases under the nation's laws. The powers of the federal judiciary appear in Article 3 of the Constitution. America adopted the Constitution in 1788. Before then, the country did not have a separate judiciary. Instead, a body called Congress exercised all the powers of the nation's government. The Articles gave Congress the power to make and enforce the nation's laws. It also gave Congress the power to establish courts to resolve particular kinds of disputes. There was no general judicial system to hear and decide cases under the nation's laws. Article 3 of the Constitution covers the judicial branch of the federal government. It begins with the judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court and in such inferior courts as the Congress may from time ordain and establish. Article 3, Section 2 contains a list of the kinds of cases and controversies to which the judicial power shall extend. The federal judiciary has the power to hear cases in law and equity arising under the Constitution, the laws of the United States, and treaties made, or which shall be made under the authority. Judicial review is the power to determine whether a congressional law or executive action violates the Constitution. Federal judges exercise the power by striking down laws, regulations, and other government conduct they find unconstitutional. The power of judicial review is controversial. The Constitution does not specifically give the federal judiciary this power. Many disagree strongly over whether it's proper for federal courts to exercise judicial review. Thank you for visiting the judicial branch.
Alright, so we're here at the Capitol, the building for the legislative branch out of the 3 branches of government. The legislative branch consists of the House of Representatives and the Senate, which together form the United States Congress. The House of Representatives is made up of 435 elected members divided among the 50 states in proportion to their total population. Members of the House are elected every 2 years and must be 25 years of age, a U.S. citizen for at least 7 years, and a resident of the state. The House has several powers assigned, including the power to initiate revenue bills, impeach federal officials, and elect the president in the case of an electoral college tie. The Senate is composed of 100 senators, 2 for each state. They have been elected to 6-year terms by the people of each state. Senators' terms are staggered so that about 1/3 of the Senate is up for re-election every 2 years. Senators must be 30 years of age, U.S. citizens for at least 9 years, and residents of the state they represent. Congress is one of the 3 co-equal branches of government. It's given significant powers by the Constitution. All legislative power in the government is vested in the Congress, meaning that it is only part of the government that can make new laws or change existing laws. The President may veto bills Congress passes, but Congress may also override a veto by 2/3 vote in both the Senate and the House of Representatives.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Holiday.
It's light work. It's light work. The wrong drink.